In this video we're going to look at how we can trade across more than one market using the Hedge 3 bet sheet. Now if we're to lay the draw in a football match in match odds, the normal thing to do is to wait for a goal to be scored, and hopefully the odds of the draw will then go up and you can bet the draw at higher odds for a profit. So if you've laid at 4.2 and the odds go up anywhere beyond that, say 5.3, we start to get into the black. Now the game might remain 0-0, so we might decide to place an insurance bet on 0-0 incorrect score. So to do that we need to look at the liabilities of that lay, which are shown up there at B2, and then divide those liabilities by the odds of 0-0 minus 1. So we'll divide, in this case, £64 by 11.5, and that would give us an insurance bet size of £5.56. So if the game remains 0-0, that bet at 12.5 of £5.56 would win us £63.94, and we would have liabilities of our lay at 4.32 for £20 of £64, so we'd only lose 6 pence. Now if a goal is scored, this bet becomes a losing bet, so we need to transfer that stake into this part of the sheet and then carry on trading in this part of the sheet to see what would happen to this lay trade. So we'll put £5.56 in there, and once a goal is scored, hopefully the odds will rise. So we will then put the current odds in there to see what would happen to our trade. Now if we put odds of 6 in, we can see that to start getting into profit we need odds of 5.9 in order to cover that losing bet, and if we've laid at 4.2. So if the odds get up to 7, for instance, we start to make more profit. So what this sheet does is, if you put any amount in where the bet stakes go, the sheet will treat that as a losing stake, and the other way around, if you put an amount in the lay column of the sheet, it will be treated as a winning stake. So all this sheet has done is it's done this normal trade of laying the draw and betting the draw there, but by putting that bet stake in there without any odds, it's seen that as a losing bet. So it's allowed us to see exactly what happened to our trade across both markets combined, match odds and correct score. Now we could do exactly the same thing if we've got two bets in the same market. We could bet 1-1 before the kick-off and place an insurance bet on 0-0 both in correct score to insure against a 0-0 game. To do that we need to divide that bet stake by those bet odds minus 1. So £30 divided by 11.5 gives £2.60. Now if a goal is scored now, that £2.60 becomes a losing bet, so we put £2.60 in there, and we can now see that we need odds of 7.8, need 1-1 odds to drop down to 7.8 before we start to get into profit. So if I transfer 7.8 down to there, you can see we're into the red, going down to 7.8, but once the odds drop below 7.8, we start to make a good profit on this kind of trade. Now here we're looking at two fictitious lays, our first lay and our second lay. We've got a bigger lay on our first lay than we have in our second lay. We've got £20 on that one and 5 on that one, both at the odds of 4.2. Now if we have to bet lower with our second lay, for instance, and we make a loss, say we have to bet at 3.5 and we'll make a £1 loss by placing that bet. There's our loss. We can put that loss into this part of the spreadsheet as a losing bet, and then we can see what odds we need to get on our remaining in play lay to get to profit. We'd need odds of 4.5 if we'd lost £1 on this other lay. Now the other way around, if that is not a loser, if that becomes a successful lay, we can transfer that £5 into that part of the sheet on the lay sheet, and that now becomes treated as a successful lay, and we can now see that we can afford to trade out on this particular trade here down as far as 3.4 and still make a profit on both trades combined. So I hope we've covered a bet and a lay, 2 bets maybe, and a couple of lays, so you can see how to use the sheet. Okay, thanks for listening and good luck with your trading.